Hello, hello, and welcome back to the 5 Foot Strong podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Gerlock, and we are back with a solo episode today. I've brought up in the past how my love for pop culture and reality TV, how they represent mental health awareness. And I think it's really positive to talk about the positives and people's experience with mental health and physical health, whether it be, diagnosed with a or overcoming cancer or any other type of disease that maybe your experience can help somebody else's. And I think there's a very powerful experience when it comes to communicating. And, back in the day, TV shows wouldn't talk about it, anxiety and mental health. And I think that's a really important thing to people to know that they're not alone. And this podcast is all about mental and physical health. So, I've talked about it, how it's brought into the Bravo world before. But then I recently was going down the TikTok rabbit hole and I saw the new Netflix special that they were promoting, Apple Cider Vinegar. And this is very disturbing to me, and it shows the negatives of the wellness industry. People think wellness, people think health, but it's also a business. And the, you know, I remember going to see when I think I was 12 years old. I'll go into a little bit of details after, but I think I was about 12 years old and the movie Supersize Me came out. And at that time, I was like, I think 12 or 13, and I was already 150 pounds. Like, I loved fast food. And I saw that movie. I remember going to the theaters, and I think I saw it a couple times actually. And I was fascinated that this guy ate McDonald's for 30 days. And I was like, oh, I'm going to eat McDonald's for 30 days. And I didn't really see anything wrong with it until later on I got in the health and wellness industry. But as somebody who was already overweight, I looked at it in a very different way. And I know watching it now with my experience, it would be very different how I would feel about. I also believe he's don't don't allegedly, I believe he died, the Supersize Me guy. But I want to talk about, you know, how the wellness and fitness and health industries are brought into movies and brought into, Netflix is putting this, I think it's based on a true story, but this apple cider vinegar, and it's a bizarre thought. Basically it was just launched on Netflix. You can go check it out. I think a couple weeks ago, but it's based on this Australian wellness influencer, Belle Gibson, and had a large social media platform, but she pretended to be suffering from cancer. She told a lie, and a pretty terrible lie. And she basically, the whole plot is that she lied about having cancer, and she kept the disease under control by using self-care therapies or naturopathic therapies, or as they used to call it, homeopathic therapies. It's all about the alternate medicine. So she later confessed that she did not have cancer in the first place. So it all turned out to be a lie. And again, it goes back to, I know wellness and the fitness industry are businesses at the end, but our health is very important to take care of. And so I know I've talked about it in the past that take what you see on social media with a grain of salt. There's a lot of people who say, Oh, I'm cured of cancer by drinking apple cider vinegar. Let's be real, okay? We have to, cancer is cancer. We should never be pretending to monopolize like that. You got to be like, we talk about mental health. You got to be mentally ill. And I say that kindly to lie about something so sensitive and then make this all over TikTok and get this whole platform, massive platform, under a lie. And this movie shows the problems with the wellness industry and how there are people who see it as just a business. And it all comes down, every couple years these new wellness trends come out. It's like the apple cider vinegar. It's like, oh, it's going to be amazing. It's the cure of all cures. Take a shot of it every day. It's good for everything. People were using it like on scabs, on everything. And yes, apple cider vinegar does have health benefits, but everything in moderation. It's it's not going to cure cancer. And the fact that this movie as someone who lost weight, as they say, the natural way with a healthy lifestyle and diet and eating well, and I've kept it off for 10 years because of it. Before there was Ozempic, I got accused in my community of having a gastric bypass surgery, and I never had a gastric bypass surgery. But everybody wants to believe you did it the quick way. And this person took an angle that it really, whether you are a cancer survivor or a family member of a cancer, somebody who has cancer in their family, or somebody who is in the wellness industry, it just puts a bad name on our health. And I always try to break it down to be as simple as possible. It's everything comes down to, you know, move your body, eat well, sleep well, keep your stress levels down. Nothing is a quick fix. And whether it be Ozempic or apple cider vinegar, it's not the cure to cure alls. Um, so I thought that movie was fascinating. And going back to the first movie, that wellness movie that I saw was Supersize Me, and it came out in 2004, so I was 12 years old. And I did see it in theaters a couple times, and I was very overweight at the time. And I remember this being fascinating, and I think I left and went to fast food right after. And it didn't clue in how unhealthy those habits were until I actually had to do the hard work to lose weight properly. So when I see, if people don't know, by the way, what Supersize Me was, it was basically a movie, like a documentary style movie that examined the influence of the fast food industry. And this guy named Morgan Spurlock personally explored the consequences of his health on his health of the diet of solely eating fast food for 30 days straight. I think he tried everything on the menu. Now, the fast food industry goes back to it's a business. They're trying to sell you fast food, but doesn't mean it's healthy. And I wrote in my book, You Don't Make Friends with Salad, that, some of these fast food restaurants will put out a salad on their menu and it's like 1,600 calories. And it's like loaded with fats and loaded with unhealthy things like fried chicken, like croutons, bacon, creamy salad dressing. It's not healthy. Just because it's a salad doesn't mean it's healthy. But it goes back to it's a marketing scheme. And the wellness industry, the fitness industry, the diet industry, it's they're $1 trillion industries. So we can't get caught up into these, fast food has been around forever. It is fast, it's convenient, but you really don't know what you're putting in your body. And sometimes it's not even the cheapest option anymore. Fast foods could be going for a lot of money these days. I don't know. I will be honest, I haven't had McDonald's in years. Um, and a fun fact is I've never had what's it called? A Big Mac or any kind of hamburger. That is a fun fact about me. But that was even when I was big. I don't like textures. It goes back to my book. Check it out on Amazon. Free plug. You don't make friends with salad. Type my name in on Amazon and you could get that book or Barnes and Noble or wherever else it's available. Um, but it's true. It's like when it comes to health, there's nothing better. There could be trends, fads, whatever you want to call it. But in the end, it's move your body, eat well, sleep well, keep your stress down. There's no crazy trick to it. There's no easy way out to it. And whether it be apple cider vinegar or, you know, Ozempic or, eating McDonald's for 30 days, um, just simplify it. Don't overthink it too much. A movie that really hit me was The Whale. And it came out in 2022, and I believe it won an Oscar for it. And the lead actor was Brendan Fraser in it. And it was this movie about this obese, recluse, um, English teacher who tries to reconnect with his estranged teenage daughter. But what it hit a personal thing with me, and it hit the mental health aspect of being overweight or being obese and not feeling like you fit in. Um, I remember this feeling when I was younger and I wanted to be stylish, but no designers that I liked when I was overweight made cute clothes. I live in Canada, so I had to actually go to Buffalo where they had younger adults, bigger sizes in clothes, and to feel like you don't fit in and you can't wear what everybody else is wearing, or you can't, people look at you in a different way when you're overweight. It hits a mental health. It, it I don't want to say it causes mental illness or depression because it really depends on your mindset through it. I know there's a lot of overweight people who are very healthy, but when you start to feel different and you start to recluse and, you know, hide away or avoid um, people looking at you differently or feeling that way that you're uncomfortable, that you don't fit in, it really is a hard thing to describe if you have never felt it, if you've never experienced it before. I've had boys make fun of my weight when I was younger. I've had, I've heard it all. But, I see the world, and I've said this many times, I see this world as an overweight girl when I was one, and I see it now as somebody who, is average, I'm not going to call myself skinny. I'm going to call myself strong. Um, but when I just see the world doesn't treat you as nicely when you're overweight. Um, and again, it's hard to describe. So this movie was very hard to watch because it hit those points of, you know, people who are overweight usually and obese turn to food for emotion and will distance themselves from people that love them because they don't feel loved themselves. They don't care about themselves. That self-love, that inner strength is not there. And yes, when I was, I was considered obese too. Um, my BMI was over 40. It was not good, but it's not just a physical thing that you have to worry about because it does affect your mental health and it does distance you from people you love, that feeling of not feeling like you're wanted or not feeling like you're equal to others just because of your weight. This movie tackled it, and I definitely cried many times trying to watch it. Brendan Fraser did an excellent job. But yes, it tackles the mental health aspect of obesity and how you do distance yourself from others, even though you don't mean to. It's it's um it's that feeling of you're not equal. You don't feel like you're wanted. And um yeah, it was a very interesting movie, very deep. It's called The Whale, and it does tackle that mental health aspect of obesity. The last movie I want to talk to you about, which is kind of cool, and I kind of like the idea where they hit it, is the Inside Out 1 and 2. Um, it is a Pixar movie. It's geared towards kids, but I think it does an excellent job of addressing mental ill health awareness in a fun and positive way. It is a heartfelt story about growing up and learning to handle some of the biggest emotions you have. It's set in the mind of an 11-year-old girl, which I've been there and it's not fun. The five emotions are were created and they're basically the characters of the movie. It's joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger. Each emotion has a defined purpose in this girl's life. Joy attempts to help her stay happy. Anger keeps her life fair. Disgust keeps her from being poisoned from both physically and socially. And fear keeps her safe. Sadness, however, doesn't think she has a purpose in her mind or that the other's emotions and is ignored as a result. So what they do with these five characters and five emotions, it shows kids that you can have joy, you can have feel sadness, you can feel fear, and they're all great ways to bring into a child to know how they feel. Because I think expressing how you feel is one of the greatest ways to tackle your mental health and communicate with it, is because when you hide it in and build it all up, that's when you explode. And that's what we don't want. And how Pixar did it to make it a successful movie that don't just hit the younger kids that they love it, but also the adults who, might need to realize that they are also allowed to feel those emotions as well. There is a reason we have fear. There is a reason we have joy. There's a reason for, disgust and sadness. And there's a reason to be angry. Sometimes we need to be angry, but there is a time and place for everything. But knowing that having emotions and feeling is acceptable and okay, this would have never happened 20 years ago. Our movies we watched were like The Lion King, which is also heartfelt, but not as deep as this Inside Out, where they really are tackling a deep issue in a very fun and kid-friendly way. And I think that's a great thing because when I was a kid, there was not movies like that. And I think that mental health and physical health representation in movies and showing, struggles and showing emotions and showing, you know, even sometimes like the apple cider vinegar, where it's like showing the scam artist who I'm kind of disgusted with, but it shows the flaws of the wellness industry. And again, I go back to it's just a business, but our health is not a business. Our health is something that we can't take for granted. And people try to take for granted of us all the time in businesses. They try to get our emotions in their marketing. And somebody who was I used to be in marketing, so I understand both sides, but in the end, if you don't have your health, you have nothing. So knowing the facts, don't get your information off of TikTok. Please do some research. Realize that there is, if you want to lose weight and live your best, healthiest lifestyle, there's no quick fix. Move your body, make better choices every single day. Every single day, you have a more than one opportunity to make a healthier choice. And keep your stress. If you need to go to therapy, go to therapy. There is nothing wrong with that. I wish that when I was in high school, people talked about their emotions. Instead, I became a recluse. I know that character in The Whale that became a recluse. I wouldn't go to high school. I wouldn't walk into my high school. I wouldn't leave my bedroom. That's what depression does to you. That's what obesity did to me. And taking your health as a number one priority, switching your mindset to a more positive and healthier mindset can do wonders. Do wonders on your future. I was thinking about it the other day as like, the 5 year thing. It's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? If you asked me 5 years ago if I would have written a book that I would have and told me I would have written a book and had a podcast and been a successful personal trainer, I'd be like, you're nuts. But you know what? I surprised myself because I'm open to opportunities. I'm saying yes. I'm dreaming big dreams. I have self confidence that I never had before. And that is because I took myself as a priority. I made myself a priority. It sounds selfish, but it's not because I'm not a recluse anymore. I'm a better daughter. I'm a better brother. I'm a better aunt. I'm a better friend. And it's all because I decided to prioritize my health and didn't take a quick fix and I didn't get gastric bypass surgery. I didn't do Ozempic. I just did the old hard truth work. And at the end, that's the best thing I can tell you is move your body. If we work all day, go for walks in between, make better choices at lunchtime, go to bed earlier. My friends used to make fun of me that I would go to bed early, but I think sleep is such an important thing. And I think that watching these movies and being aware of what's true and what is not true and what's healthy and what's not healthy is really important. And you can make your own judgment from that. If you watch Supersize Me and think that eating McDonald's for 30 days straight is really healthy, then we're just not going to see eye to eye. And I'm okay with that. But you got to be okay with yourself because I'm not going to eat McDonald's for 30 days because I know that's not healthy and I've done the research and I'm going to look at the calories, or not, I don't even as a personal trainer, I don't really care about the calories, but like how much protein is there? How much fat is there? How much carbs are in there? And I'm going to look at the world in a very different light. I'm going to look at wellness industry and the fitness industry. I've already said the fitness industry, there's a problem with it because it's geared towards fit people getting fitter. I believe the wellness industry is again the same thing. It's, healthy people getting healthier. Um, I want to see some really heavy person that needs to lose a lot of weight, have apple cider vinegar and pull this off because it's never going to happen. And we have to also look at the negatives that, weight loss and health and, when we watch shows like Big Brother, not Big Brother. Um, 100-pound loser. That could never happen anymore because really it shouldn't be about a number. And Ray, you could lose a lot of weight in 6 weeks. Guess what? More than half that weight is water weight. So it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's about habits you make over time. And I try to emphasize this as much as I can on this podcast. Create healthy habits. I'm going to end this podcast with that tip of advice is if you want to focus on your health and wellness, create healthy habits because you won't have to isolate yourself or deprive yourself of anything you enjoy. But making healthy boundaries in your eating, saying you're not going to eat after 8 o'clock, saying you're going to cut out. I heard a great thing. I heard a great one the other day. Somebody said, I'm not going to eat anything that's white. And that includes, white flours, white rice, white potatoes, all that stuff. Make a rule. I'm not going to eat anything that's white. I once made a rule. I'm not going to eat anything that comes out of a bag or a box because that means it's processed. It has preservatives. Just make rules that fit for your lifestyle, and your health and wellness journey can go a long way, but there is no quick fix. I'm sorry to say. And each day is a new day to improve your physical health, your mental health. Watch films and watch TV, and you might hear a story that you connect with. And that makes you feel like you're not alone. And that I think is an excellent thing. I've heard, some of my favorite reality stars say that they deal with anxiety. And I'm like, oh, wow, I'm not alone. Or, I watch The Whale and I'm like, wow, this hits way too close to home. Or, I just, I guess it's the work I put into myself that I see the world in a very different way, but in a very healthy, balanced way. There is no 0 to 100 real quick. It takes time, one step in front of the other, one breath at a time, one exercise at a time. Break it down, take your time. Don't get overwhelmed because then you won't last. Just believe in yourself. That's number one. Work on yourself. That's number two. You know, prioritize your health, not just your physical health, but your mental health too, because both are really important. And I believe that both can be connected in a positive and a negative way. Because when I was obese and at my worst, my depression was at its highest. And now that I feel as healthy as ever, I don't have depression anymore. My anxiety is quite low. I used to go to doctor's appointments all the time. I used to be at a doctor's office all the time because my stomach wasn't well and my knee had problems with my knees and I all these different issues. I don't go to a doctor as long as I haven't gone for just since my physical last year. And I feel amazing. So there is a correlation between your physical and your mental health. So I really believe that you finding that balance that works for you, that will make you your healthiest and happiest self is your should be your priority for 2025. I want to end it there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I really enjoy talking about the awareness of mental health and physical health. I like to bring in my passions of pop culture, of movies and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, whether you're 5 feet tall like myself or 7 feet tall, we are all strong in our own unique and beautiful ways. Have a great day and stay strong.